Let's just jump right in. The legendary Richard Feynman had this absolutely brilliant way of looking at the world, and he was especially sharp when it came to dissecting his own field. In this explainer, we are going to unpack his argument on why physics and mathematics are fundamentally, and I mean completely, different disciplines. So if you've ever thought of these two fields as basically doing the exact same thing, well, get ready for a pretty massive perspective shift.
Right off the bat, we need to shatter a really common misconception. You hear people assume all the time that physics is essentially just applied mathematics. The idea is kind of like, hey, if you deeply understand one, you automatically get the other, right? But as we explore how these scientists actually think, you'll see their approaches to reality are entirely different. Sure, one totally helps the other out. But as Feynman points out, physics is not mathematics, and mathematics is most definitely not physics.
So, let's start by stepping into our first reality. We're going to enter the highly abstract, incredibly structural realm of the mathematician.
Mathematicians deal exclusively with the structure of reasoning. As Feynman notes, they actually don't care what they are talking about. Think about that for a second. They don't even need to know what they are talking about or whether what they are saying is actually true out there in the physical universe. Their process is fascinatingly detached. First, they state foundational rules. Second, they carry out the pure logic. And third, they completely ignore whether it aligns with tangible reality. It literally doesn't matter to them if it's true in the real world, it only matters that the logic is airtight. It's this beautifully pure yet entirely isolated way of thinking.
And this perfectly illustrates their overarching goal, which is to prepare abstract reasoning built entirely on axioms. An axiom is basically just the starting point. It's a foundational statement where you say, okay, such and such is so. And from there, the logic can be carried out without ever needing to know what those such and such words actually mean in real life. Mathematicians are essentially building these incredible frameworks of abstract reasoning that are ready to be used, totally unbothered by physical attachment.
Okay, so that's the mathematician. Now enter the physicist, who steps into the picture with a completely different requirement.
Physics absolutely requires meaning. While the mathematician is over there prepping abstract frameworks that just need a set of rules, the physicist must have meaning attached to every single one of their phrases. They need a deep, fundamental connection between their words and the actual, real world. And Feynman puts out a really crucial trap here. A lot of people who study physics but come from a mathematics background totally fail to appreciate this. They try to treat physics just like math, blindly following the logic. But in physics, you literally cannot be blind to reality. If you lose sight of what the symbols actually represent, you're no longer doing physics.
Unlike mathematicians, physicists know exactly what they are talking about because they deal with concrete, observable phenomena. When a physicist is working through a problem, they aren't just shuffling abstract symbols around on a piece of paper. They know that these specific variables represent actual, physical forces. They know this represents mass. They know that represents inertia. Their entire world is firmly anchored in tangible things you can actually feel and measure.
So where does this fundamental difference become super obvious? It all comes down to how the two disciplines handle dimensions. Let's look at the general case versus the special case.
Mathematicians want their reasoning and their theorems to be as broad and general as humanly possible. If you start talking to a mathematician about ordinary space, they immediately want to expand it. They'll say, look, if you had a space of n dimensions, here are the complex theorems. They absolutely love playing in that infinite, generalized, n-dimensional space. But the physicist is strictly interested in a special case. They aren't interested in the infinite general case at all. Why? Simply because the infinite general case doesn't represent the actual universe we live in.
Because we live in a reality with breadth, width, and height, the physicist only cares about substituting n equals 3 to describe ordinary space. You tell a mathematician you want the case for 3, and they substitute n equals 3 into their incredibly complex theorems, and suddenly those theorems become much simpler, because they just happen to be a special case. But for the physicist, that special case is literally everything. It is the reality we measure distances in, the reality where galaxies form, and the reality where apples fall from trees.
Because their overarching goals are so fundamentally different, general abstraction on one hand versus specific reality on the other, their methods for actually navigating complex problems diverge completely.
Because physicists observe how phenomena behave in reality, they can rely heavily on this highly practical common sense intuition. Since a physicist knows they are dealing with real forces and real masses, they have literally seen how these things behave in the real world. This gives them what Feynman famously calls an awful lot of common sense seat-of-the-pants feeling about the world.
They can intuitively guess how a phenomenon is going to behave because they have real-world context constantly guiding them.
Feynman injects some really great humor here, noting that the poor mathematician has no physical guide whatsoever. The mathematician translates everything into equations, but remember, the symbols don't actually mean anything tangible to them. Without that seat-of-the-pants feeling about how a physical object should act, they have absolutely no guide. They must rely completely on precise mathematical rigor and extreme care in their logical arguments to make sure they don't mess up.
And here's the real kicker. Surprisingly, that extreme, modern mathematical precision is actually not very useful in physics when compared to empirical, practical common sense. The great precision and attitudes of mathematical rigor don't help the physicist much at all. Why? Because they are already grounded by the reality of the physical objects they're studying. The physicist is protected from certain logical errors by their physical intuition, which is basically a built-in safety net the mathematician simply doesn't have in their abstract space.
Ultimately, these two distinct worlds operate entirely independently. They respect one another for sure, but there isn't any form of subservience here. They're like two parallel tracks that might occasionally share a train station, but they are headed to entirely different destinations.
Feynman is very clear on this point. Mathematicians should absolutely not be criticized for ignoring physical reality. It's their own job to explore the abstract. They can do whatever they want. Mathematicians are not slaves to physics. If a physicist needs a specific mathematical tool to solve a real-world problem, well, it's on the physicist to figure out those applications themselves.
So I'm going to leave you with his final thought to ponder from today's explainer. Think about this. How did these two entirely separate philosophies, one perfectly abstract and totally devoid of physical meaning, the other fiercely tangible and reliant on common sense, how do they ultimately interact so perfectly to explain the reality around us? It is a truly beautiful paradox, and understanding the different ways these brilliant minds work is the very first step to truly appreciating both of them. Thanks for joining me on this deep dive, and keep questioning the world around you.